Entropy Outdoors, hunting, fishing, and loving every day. Warning, the following content is very graphic. There are blood, guts, and gore. If you're not okay with that, turn back now. Join us today for a muzzleloader deer hunt. Shotgun season was a bust, we've put in many hours, and it's time for the muzzleloader. Today, we go for a walk, find some signs, and find a deer. Join us on the journey.
Okay, we're on this new property. We scouted this last Saturday, and I'm just walking in real quiet here. Muzzleloader season. I think the plan is to do a real slow walk and stalk to where the deer was bedded down last time, in the hopes that it's there again today. It was a super late start to the day, and actually the timing's working out perfectly. It's about the same time as last Saturday when we pushed that deer off its bed. So we'll see how we make out here. Okay, we've got a set of deer tracks here from last night or yesterday. There's a bunch coming in, but definitely not worth videoing and narrating for missing the chance to get a shot off. This is the area where it was bedded a few days ago. I'm gonna find a log. That log in the center of the screen there looks perfect. I'm gonna sit there and just take a break. One might walk by. And if not, hey, what a beautiful place to be. All right, let's get this show on the road. Hang on a second. Okay, so I'm in the deepest part of this property. Not sure if you can tell, but I'm on a bit of a peninsula. You know, one of my rules is never stop hunting, but I've done that right now. Regardless, I'm on a little bit of a point of land here that goes out into the lake, surrounded on three sides by marsh. And it's a bit of a trek getting into here. Got lots of sunlight right now, but you always need to plan on for success. If you get a deer at this point in the day, we've got about 4.5 hours of light, if that. And it's going to be a pain in the behind to get a deer out of here right now. So at this point in today's hunt, I'm going to call it quits for being in this far. Because although I can get out in the dark, I used to know this property 10, 13 years ago a lot better than I do now. And it has changed so much in the last decade that nothing looks the same. There's a couple spots that look familiar, but the trails are non-existent in here right now. Either way, a great day to be out. This is a bit of a cool spot here for the last decade. It's either coyotes or fox. There's a number of dens in here. There's another one down here. And if we come up over here, another one, another one, And yeah, really cool spot to be. Now, if the lake was open, which it's not, it's skimmed over in ice and the water level's very low for winter right now, the easiest way to get a deer out of this area is either by canoe or boat. I have taken deer out with chest waders on, not from this location but other spots. Chest waders, hip waders, I've put them in canoes and paddled them out as well. But this spot right here, this would be a good spot for toboggan and a lot of pulling and hopping over various spots. It's really something. All right, I'm gonna slowly hunt my way out of here. See where we.
Okay, so at this point, I'm on a neighboring property, and there's a ton of deer tracks right here. There's so many that something has to be nearby. So I'm not narrating while I'm filming, but also getting ready to see something. Shortly, just beyond where these trees are, there was a deer. And just before I saw the deer, I could hear a fox bark. So having that feeling that I'm going to see a deer, I come to the edge of the field, find a rock to sit on, and I'm literally just sitting there when the deer comes up on another property, eventually crosses over the line, and that's my shot.
Okay, that was incredibly exciting. That I had crosshairs on that thing for probably about 5 to 7 minutes. We are about 7 minutes from the end of legal light, so let's go check this thing out. What a rush, man. Honestly, I held on that deer for so long that I stopped shaking. Yeah, I know what happened. Let's go check it out together. So I did a wet patch, actually 2 wet patches and a dry patch. I am reloaded. This thing took off running right into the trees here. Really hoping it's still there. Okay, hoping it's expired too. There it is. There it is. Now, there's the potential for it to jump up, so normally you'd walk up on them from behind, but obviously I can't do that here. Not really sure what the options are. Anyway, safety is number one, so I'm gonna hit pause. And still shaking a bit, eh? Look at the camera shake. Gonna hit pause and make sure that perfect timing. It's done, expired. Now gotta get my tag filled out, get it on this thing, and get it out of here. We got about 4 minutes of legal light left, so job number one is encasing and tagging at the same time, because it's got to be done the same time. Okay, here we go. Tags on. Now, job of walking out. I literally don't carry my knife on me. I find my endurance is a whole lot better when I have less in my backpack. So, yeah, so it's time for a knife and an ATV. We'll get this thing emptied out and hung up. Okay, finally back. It took a little longer than I expected, but I wanted to make sure I had everything lined up to receive when I get home. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move deer out to this open area. It often works best if you can get a deer so that the guts will actually drain downhill Unfortunately, I'm at the very bottom of a hill here, and I'd actually have to drag it a ways to get any sort of downhill movement. So I'm thinking right here, there is a little bit of downhill here. Something's better than nothing. So anyways, if my hands are cold, they won't be shortly. This looks a little silly, but doing this by yourself, it's really handy to have somebody to hold the legs up. So I guess the front of the ATV is going to do that job for me tonight. So once you get it opened up, I open up the chest cavity out here too. Make sure I get the lungs and the diaphragm and all that stuff out here. But yeah, so I brought a couple ropes, and I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think I'm going to do it. This gives you room to make a nice clean cut and hopefully not have any spillage. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so that 2 rope method went really, really well. 2 ropes, and then sorry, gut pile there. Oh, here's a stick. Used a stick to hold the body, the stomach cavity open, and I just gotta dump some blood out now, and she's good to go. So, well, he is. Anyways, the next challenge is how to get that up there. And I looked around for a large branch right above me, and well, they're too far away, so I was thinking about lifting it up onto the front, but I'll figure something out. I'm gonna get messy doing it, that's for sure, but it'll get on there. All right, well, that worked. Here was the secret to getting it on. Secret was stand it up like a drunk friend at a bar in front of the ATV, tie a rope to the rack, run a rope to the back rack, and that way, as you're trying to help the front of the deer up, you can pull. Once you got it pulled up far enough, you're gonna tie it off to the front rack, and then you got the head up. Next part is simply grabbing the back legs. If it's a small enough deer like this one, grab the back legs and flop it up onto the front rack. And Bob's your uncle. That wasn't too bad, actually. It went really, really well. Field dressing it went really well. Bullet traveled through some of the lungs, did not hit the heart. Normally it does. I don't know if that's a good shot or not, but probably. Anyways, yeah, went through some of the lungs, and it was a little bloody, but it was all clean blood, and we didn't spill any stomach contents. Fantastic. All right, so now nice slow drive out. We don't want this thing jiggling off and us running over it and having an accident on the way out. That would not be good at all. So overall, that was a great little hunt. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't start hunting this afternoon until what, like 3:30. It's been a long week. Hell, it's been a long month. Everything that's happening in the world and things going on at work, and life's not easy. It's a little stressful, and everyone's working the way they can to make the world go round, myself included. It was nice to have a little nap this afternoon and take a break from pounding the forest and out looking. Obviously, it worked out really well, and I couldn't be happier. So get this home, get it strung up, might skin it tonight. I don't know. Or I might just have a shower and go to bed and do the skinning tomorrow, and then contemplate whether I'm going to get it butchered. I've got an awesome butcher. Honestly, they get it done within like an hour of dropping it off. I'm not one for having my deer aged. Honestly, the best deer I've ever had, it was shot, field dressed, and driven straight to the butcher's, and that was awesome. Absolutely tender, delicious. The worst deer I've ever had, I shot it last night, recovered the next morning around 10 a.m. and then took it to a butcher. And the butcher, he's a professional. I honestly think he hung it a little too long, but that deer getting out of that forest was quite an adventure. It had to go through some water. I'm not gonna lie. That thing ended up floating through a beaver pond. Might have something to do with how it tasted, you think? Regardless, that was the worst tasting deer I've ever had. But that was a good sized buck. Probably had some age to it, and I think that may have been reflected in the meat. But I don't think that butcher did me a favor. I think he ended up letting that thing hang for 2 weeks in his cooler, and in my opinion, that's too long for me. That's just my experience though, right? Like everyone's experience is different, and I'd love to get them cut, wrapped, and in the freezer sooner than later. All right, well, I'm sure I'll have some more footage when we get back to the garage. Skinning these is pretty easy. If you've got a guy or two, you can just keep on pulling down on it and work the skin away from the meat. Or you can do the Superman method that I call it, and it's a tennis ball or a golf ball, or sometimes we use a rock and a string and tie it onto the trailer hitch of the vehicle, or the winch of the ATV, and pull the skin off. It's really clean. The butchers love it when you've got a nice clean gear. But we'll see. Honestly, work's going to come early tomorrow morning, so maybe just getting this thing hung up and cooled would be the best bet. There's not a lot of stuff in the stomach cavity. It's really clean right now. Normally I'd end up hosing them out. There's more tracks right there, but I don't think I'll be doing that tonight. I think our outside tap is frozen. It's frost free, but still froze a little bit. Alright, I'm going to get this thing out of low gear and throw it in the high and boogie on home. Okay, so this is the tennis ball method, or in this case we're using like a hockey ball. And basically you take the skin, make a flap off the neck, stick a ball underneath, make a noose, hook it to a trailer hitch of something or a winch or whatever. In this case we got the ATV, and beautiful wife, so she's just going to take it in reverse, a little nice and slow, real slow. And I'm going to help. Nice and slow. Whoa, that's a little jerky. Nice and slow. Now please keep in mind that when this skin lets go, this deer is going to fly forward and hit into the snowblower and all that stuff. A little bit. Whoa, that's good. So now at this point, you can go around and work with the knife around the hips and help it off. Sometimes you gotta basically like draw a line down the legs, and it comes off beautifully, and your butcher will love you. Unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed. I have way too much hair on my meat right now. Normally I'd wash all that off with a hose, but the hose is frozen, and I guess I'm gonna be using a sponge and a paper towel or something. Or embrace it and you know, enjoy it. One of the two. Alright, I'm gonna shut this down. We got some more skinning to do here. We'll let her hang, and then I don't know, we might butcher this ourselves. It's real easy, honestly. You take the shoulder off real quick, back straps come out, tenderloins, simple, and then everything else goes to grind on the upper part. Take some flank off, cut the ball roast out. It's easy. There's a YouTube video for that. I have no intention of making one, so good luck. All right, mission accomplished. Using the winch and the ATV, all around worked out great. Getting it on the ATV, using the method I did, was wonderful. Obviously, it's not a big buck. It's pretty small. I'm honestly quite happy that it's not a giant buck, because they turn into a lot of work, and they touch the floor a lot here. So you know, maybe I could use the other pulley, but regardless. So this shot wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn good. It went in right, I don't know, one of these two holes, right in behind the shoulder. Actually, I'm going to call that more in the shoulder, depending on how the deer was standing. Obviously, it caught part of the shoulder roast. Obviously, back on the shoulder. That's not bad, actually. I honestly would rather have aimed right about here, but if I'm off by 2.5 inches on a shot where I'm trying to control my heart rate and my breathing, I'm okay with that. And always be careful, because your shot is going to travel beyond your animal, and that's one of the things I did. Obviously the bullet came out through here, traveled through the lungs, and hopefully didn't have a whole lot of energy after that. Now, I did wait a significant amount of time. I'm going to say between 3 and 7 minutes for this deer to have a safe backdrop so that I could take the shot. And, you know, for the first 20, 30 seconds, I was fine. between minute 1 and minute 3. A little bit of deer fever, a little bit of buck fever set in. You get that shot of adrenaline, your heart starts beating, and you're trying not to shake, I guess. But try not to. After like minute 3 to 5, that passes, and this deer was slowly coming to a spot where I could take that safe shot. So it's prepped. Got to get some hair off. I'm going to do that tomorrow with some paper towel, wipe it down, and do my best at getting hair off, trim a bit of the fat off, go through the stomach cavity, and there's a couple chunks of fat and stuff in there that I need to get out. And I think I can drop this off to my butcher guy there. They do a fantastic job. We do a great job right here sometimes. But family life, work life, it's pretty busy. Kids got to go to swimming lessons, so we'll see. I'd love to get a couple buddies out this week and see if they can get a deer. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. This has been a hoot. Hunting definitely is a marathon. You really have to hold in there for the long run. Failing muzzleloader season, it was going to turn into bow season, and honestly, I don't feel confident or competent with a bow, and I'd rather not do that. I want to shoot a deer. I want to go down. I'm worried that wouldn't happen with a bow. So, yeah. Anyway, stay safe. Have fun. And okay, so here's proof you really don't need a truck. It's not the first time a deer's been in the back of this little car. If you got a hatchback or even less, just stick it in the back. It'll be okay. It'll fit most of the time. This is a small buck, so it works out well. But, 2 feet heartbeat and any sort of vehicle. One thing that really does help is a toboggan for getting it out of the bush and containing liquids when you do. Right, we're headed to the butcher's. This is exciting times, I'll tell you. Hope I don't get stopped at a ride check. Okay, just picking up the meat here from the butcher and put it in the back of the car. We got some steaks, some chops, some hamburgers. Thought I saw tenderloins in here somewhere. Well, they'll be in there. Anyways, they did a great job. I got a little bit more out of it than I would have expected. There really isn't much here. This would fill a milk crate plus a little bit. Regardless, it's going to be awesome.
For further updates and adventures, please like and subscribe, and ding that bell. Until next time, be well and stay safe.